Is commercial solar worth it for businesses in the UK? We recently installed solar and battery here at our Artisan HQ, and in today's video we're going to break down all of the numbers and see whether it's really worth installing solar for your business. So we've installed a 60 kilowatt inverter here with 120 kilowatt hours of battery storage. It's the SigEnergy SigenStack, which is their commercial and industrial offering. And there's some features that are beneficial even beyond just the savings on the energy bills. But first thing you've got to look at with commercial solar is how much roof space you've got. And to do that, what we've got to do is get the drone in the air. So let me show you.
This is the DJI Matrice 4TD, and honestly, it's transformed the way we do solar surveys and maintenance. The camera on this thing is unreal. We're getting crisp, detailed shots of entire roofs, obstacles, shading issues, everything we need to design a perfect solar PV system, all captured in minutes. And the built-in laser rangefinder, absolute game changer. We can measure roof areas and distances instantly right there on site, which speeds up our whole design process massively. And when it comes to maintenance, the thermal imaging is really amazing. It can detect hotspots or faulty panels across huge arrays in seconds, not hours. Plus, the smart obstacle avoidance gives us total confidence when flying around awkward areas. And the weather protection, being IP55 rated, as well as long flight time, means that this drone has become one of the most reliable bits of kit we own.
So at Artisan, we always do a full drone survey before we do an installation, and it's really to check the measurements of the roof, just to verify exactly how many panels that we can fit on it. Now, sometimes we use just a small drone, but we've got this big drone that we use for commercial and industrial setups. Now, the advantage of using a drone like this is it's got pinpoint accuracy when it comes to 3D mapping and geolocation. So essentially, it knows exactly where it is in the sky, and it can 3D map an entire building based on its position. On top of that, it's got a thermal imaging camera. And like I said, that plays really well into the situation where you might have an existing PV system that you want to do maintenance on, particularly for large solar projects in commercial situations like this, where you've got thousands of panels potentially. If one panel goes down or starts to degrade more than it should, it can overheat, potentially cause a fire. And so ongoing maintenance in these kind of situations is quite important, and that's where the thermal imaging comes in really nicely. But for the design phase, the most important thing for us is we want to know how many panels can you fit on the roof of your building. And we don't want to get that wrong, because if you turn up to do the install and you find that you've designed too many panels and they won't fit, or not enough panels and actually you could have fit more, it's rather frustrating. So the key to getting a really good commercial solar install is having a proper design and survey done beforehand. Thanks to DJI for sponsoring this segment of the video. If you'd like to find out more about this drone, there'll be a link in the description below. So here at Artisan HQ, we've got 60 solar panels on the roof, a total of 33.75 kilowatt peak. And if you want to watch us do the full install here, we did make a YouTube video about that. I'll leave a link up here where you can watch that later. But essentially, the 33 kilowatts, that's the peak output of this system if optimal conditions were happening. And realistically, that's never going to happen here at this building because we've got a barreled roof. And barreled roofs are quite tricky. They are quite common in commercial, industrial situations, but it's very difficult when it comes to design because you've not got one facet facing one direction. So doing all of the projections of how much the system's going to produce and also working out the shading analysis, etc., is a little bit more complex than a traditional trapezoidal roof, for example, which is facing in one direction. But we were able to overcome the challenge, and we've got a beautiful PV system here. But what you want to know is, well, how much did it cost to install and how much money is it saving now for us as a business? Well, let's find out. So we're going to dive deep into our system now and look at how much has it generated so far, how much has it saved us, and what are all of the different ways that a commercial solar PV and battery system can be used to actually reduce your costs as a business. So this is our SigEnergy dashboard. It's really quite a nice platform that they give us, but they've got a really user-friendly app. So all of our customers have this app that they can use to see their system, what it's doing at any given time. And what I'm going to do is just delve into our particular system here. So this is our system at Artisan HQ. Now, the overview in the dashboard is really nice because it gives us the amount of power that we're currently using on site. So we're right now using 1.87 kilowatts of power. And all of that power is coming from the batteries. The batteries are currently at 25% charge. We're using a little bit from the grid, which I'm not quite sure why that is. But the clever thing about this system is it actually uses AI to optimize the way that you use the system. But here's the highlights. If I go down to the lifetime of the system, now we installed this 3 months ago, roughly. So it was sort of the first week in September it got installed. We're now first week in December. So pretty much 3 months of usage. We've generated 3,047 kilowatt hours, or 3 megawatt hours basically, as you would call it. And we've used 3,777 kilowatt hours. So we've actually only used 700 kilowatt hours more than what we've generated, which means the system has almost been like net zero usage versus production, which is pretty cool. And bearing in mind that we're now in December, so we've done October and November, which were quite poor generating months. September was actually a really good month. And obviously December, January, February are not going to be great. When it starts to ramp up again next year, I believe that we're going to produce way more than we actually need. And then we're going to be exporting lots of power to the grid, getting paid for it. And overall, we should be more or less net zero here in terms of our energy bills. But how much does that equate to in terms of actual money? Well, here's what it says in the SigEnergy app. So the total energy revenue value here is, it's saying it's £384.45. Now, the reason our energy revenue figure is quite low still at the moment is that we have exported a ton of power to the grid, but we haven't actually got paid for it yet. And that's because we're waiting for Octopus to switch on our export tariff. It's a little heads up for you guys. If you are running a business and you're looking to get solar, it's not an instant thing to get your export payments. Unfortunately, they do seem to take quite a while to give you an export tariff for commercial installations. They do them, but you have to fill out this form, and then they basically say it can take like 3, 4, 5 months before they'll actually put you on an export tariff, which is a bit annoying because it means that for all of these months that I'm exporting power, well, basically September, I didn't get paid for any of that energy. So the payback is going to be better than this, but it gives you an idea. We've produced a little bit less than we've consumed. We sent a load of power to the grid in September, so let me show you that. Bearing in mind, we only switched the system on the 10th of September. We exported 733.86 kilowatts to the grid, kilowatt hours, and we used 753, so a total of 1.4 megawatt hours was generated in September. And bearing in mind that's less than a month, it's about 2/3 of a month, we probably would have been way over the 2 megawatt hour generation figure just for September alone. And then of that, we consumed 506.79 kilowatt hours of our own energy. So you can see like 77% of our consumption was coming from our solar, and then 22% was coming from the grid. Now you might wonder, well, why are we pulling from the grid when we're generating our own power? And that's where the battery comes in. So I've decided to switch to a tariff called Shape Shifters from Octopus. And what that gives you is 3 energy rates. It gives you a very low rate sort of overnight, then a slightly higher rate during the day, and then a really high peak rate from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. of like a crazy figure. It's like nearly 50p per kilowatt hour, I think. So essentially, we're paying about 19p per kilowatt hour for our overnight usage. Then it bumps up to about 21p, something like that, during the day. And then there's that peak at 40 odd p. And the goal with battery is to charge it up on the cheapest rate possible, and then use that to cover the peak rates. So that 40 to 50p period, we don't want to be pulling any power from the grid at that time. We want to be using everything from our battery, and that's exactly how the SigEnergy AI helps us to do it. It automatically works out the best time to charge the battery. It looks at what the weather predictions are, and it will charge the battery less overnight if it knows that the next day is going to be really sunny. And then it makes sure that we're not using any energy from the grid during that peak window. Now, when we start to get paid for solar, it's going to factor that in as well, and it will probably allow us to export power at the most profitable times, maybe even buying energy in cheap overnight and then exporting it to the grid during the day and actually using kind of energy trading to make money by buying low and selling high. And this is the amazing thing about these systems, is when you've got them, you can optimize them to do whatever you want based on the tariff that you've chosen. So let's look at a daily example of this now. So this is the 17th of September. So the system had been in for about a week. It's a Wednesday, so people would have been in here using power. And you can see that our total energy consumption for the day was 35.86 kilowatt hours. 75% came from our solar and 25% basically came from the grid. We generated 22 kilowatt hours that day, so it wasn't a very sunny day. So let's look at another example. The next day, we actually generated 58 kilowatt hours, so it would have been a more sunny day. And you can see that basically we were running off the battery, so that was free energy, and then we started to generate solar and charge the battery up and fill that battery, and then it got full. Now, if we flick forward to, let's say, the end of November, so let's say Wednesday the 26th of November, it's quite a dramatically different story because the sun is a lot lower in the sky. That means that we're obviously generating a lot less from our solar. I'm actually using more because we've got this heating and cooling system in the building. So at this time of year, we're heating with electric. It's basically like a heat pump and air source, air-to-air heat pump. And we use 60 kilowatt hours in this particular day. We only generated just under 20 kilowatt hours. And this is what happens with the battery. So you can see here on this cheap overnight window, the battery was down at like 5%, and the AI app has basically told it to charge up to 10 or 11%. So it's done a quick bump, charged it up to 11%, and then put it on hold. So we're actually pulling from the grid. So although our battery is at 11%, it set it to hold and not discharge any of that power. And then we are pulling our power from the grid, as you can see here on this particular line. We're basically pulling all of this power from the grid. That's because this is really cheap, this energy. And then as soon as the energy rate goes up slightly, then what we're doing is we're discharging a bit from the battery, and then we can see the battery starts to charge up again, because we're running from our solar essentially, and we've got excess solar, so the battery's charging up slightly. And that is in line with this solar chart here. Then obviously as the sun starts to go down, the battery gets depleted down to its 5% minimum, which we've set as a backup minimum, which I'll talk to you about in a bit. And then we'll be pulling from the grid again. But by this time it's like 6:45, 6:50 p.m. The cheap energy window has finished. So we've done exactly what we needed to do. We've covered our own usage during that cheap energy window. We've not pulled anything from the grid, and we've saved ourselves a lot of money. So when it comes to monetizing a solar PV system, there are basically three main ways. There is self-consumption, i.e. using as much of your own solar energy as you can, and therefore you're not pulling power from the grid, you're not buying energy from the grid, you save yourself money. The second is an interesting one. It's peak shaving, and what that means is, like we're doing here, we're avoiding buying energy during the peak times. We're reducing the amount of energy we're pulling from the grid during peak times by charging that battery up during the times when energy is cheaper, and then using the battery to cover our own energy usage during those peak times. And then the third is export, obviously getting paid to export power to the grid. And that works in two ways, either during the day when your sun is shining and you're generating excess solar, sending that out to the grid, or potentially even discharging your battery forcibly, force discharging into the grid at peak times to make as much money as possible from that stored energy in your batteries. Those are the three main ways that people make these kind of systems pay for themselves. But there are other benefits that aren't necessarily financial, which are still really incredible for business owners. Let me talk to you about those. So the first benefit is really illustrated here in the plant room. We've got a lot of sensitive electronic equipment in this building to run all of our network, our computers, make sure we've got internet to do all of the things that most modern day businesses do. You know, we're working out of the cloud a lot of the time now. We need everything to work, therefore we need power. So this battery system gives us a really, really good benefit that's not necessarily financial directly, although it can have a really big financial impact. And that is, when we've got a power cut, we don't even know about it. This system instantaneously switches us over in the event of a power cut, and we don't lose power, which means business continues. We don't have any loss of earnings from business interruption. And that is actually something that can cost businesses a fortune, especially businesses that rely heavily on their electricity. You just imagine the downtime of losing power for a few hours. How much would that cost your business? Well, having this system has that added benefit. Now, the second point you might think is a scam, or you might not. It's all about the carbon footprint. Now, for businesses, it is quite important because suppliers and the government are putting more and more emphasis on ESG goals, reducing our carbon footprint, and being responsible from an energy perspective as businesses. So whether you like it or not, reducing your carbon footprint is important for most businesses, and a great way to do that is by installing solar and battery systems. Now, the other unseen benefit of these systems is one that you might never expect, and that's actually giving you a boost in power capacity during certain times. What do I mean by that? Well, as an example, we've been recently planning a system for a catering company who at certain times of the day actually need to pull more power than they can from their grid connection. They're limited to a 200 amp supply from the grid, but they need to use 300 amps in order to run all of their catering equipment at peak time. And to upgrade their supply from 200 to 300 amps would cost hundreds of thousands. So adding a battery system that can boost their energy during peak demands, and essentially they can pull both from the grid and from the battery during those peak times to augment their power supply, is actually really helpful and can create a huge saving for some businesses who rely on pulling a huge amount of power only at certain times of the day. It's a nice feeling to know that this Artisan sign, all the lighting in the building, all the computers in the building are running off our own self-generated renewable energy. But the real question is, does it pay? Is it actually worth it financially? So let's break down the numbers. Now, in this building, with the amount of energy that we're using, we're predicted to use about 25,000 kilowatt hours per year. And if we were buying that amount of energy from the grid at, say, 35p per kilowatt hour, you're looking at a significant amount of money, about £8,000 to £9,000 per year being our energy spend for this building. But the system that we've installed here is actually estimated to generate more than that, around 30 megawatt hours per year, or 30,000 kilowatt hours. So actually, we're going to generate more than we could use in an entire year. And if we balance it out correctly, we should be able to basically negate our entire energy usage and get paid for some of our export, meaning that the savings over a year should be around £10,000. Now the question is, how much did this system cost to install? Well, obviously that's a bit of a trick question because we've installed it ourselves, so the labour cost and everything is pretty much nil. We've absorbed it into the business. We've just got the cost of the materials. So for us, this system was quite reasonable to install, although the materials are a very significant part of this particular installation, particularly the batteries. But if we were installing it for a normal customer, the price that we would charge to install a system like this is about £100,000. So even with that normal pricing, we're looking at about a 10-year payback for this system. But with us having installed it, etc., the payback is going to be quite a lot less than that. Realistically, we've probably over-engineered this system. For example, we're only using about 60 kilowatt hours of energy per day. So that means that realistically we could have got away with a much smaller battery, maybe 60 kilowatt hours of battery rather than 120, and that would have cut the system down a lot cheaper. I think we could have got away with a system for this building fully installed at normal pricing for about £50,000 to £60,000 that would have been sufficient to cover a lot of our energy needs. And actually the payback period then, you're looking at 5 to 6 years for a system like this. It's really, really interesting, especially when you take into consideration all of the other benefits that we've just discussed. So what do you think? Is commercial solar worth it in 2026, or is it a waste of money? I'll let you battle it out in the comments, but for me, it's a no-brainer. I love having the satisfaction of knowing that our business is running on our own self-generated energy, that we've got energy security, we've got flexibility with the batteries and the backup power. It really gives me a lot of peace of mind. And of course, if you love a system like this for your business, whether it's a small business like ours or a huge warehouse or ground mount system, we can help you design and build the perfect system for you. There'll be a link below where you can find out more.